No.
No, sir.
Okay, so last session we had started off with your cloud formation, and I showed you an example as well with your cloud formation. So once again, cloud formation is simply your infrastructure as code. So whenever you want to set up your infrastructure using some code, we can make use of your cloud formation for that, right? So um, at any time when we talk about infrastructure as code in AWS, cloud formation is a service that we use for that. All right. So again, as of now, if you see, infrastructure as code is being implemented very commonly. Terraform is something that is very commonly used at an organization level. But if you want, you have cloud formation as well. So last session I showed you one example where we uh, launched a simple EC2 instance. So this is the code we had used, and we created one security group, and then we launched an EC2 instance. That is where we had stopped in the last session. Now I'll be showing you one more example for this. So what we will be doing is we will look at a little complex example where we will create more components. So this is the example that we are going to look at. So we'll go to CloudFormation, and then this is the example that we are going to look at. Now, in this particular example, what am I doing? We are creating a VPC. All right, so we are going to create a custom VPC. So here I'm defining my resources. I'm attaching an IAM role. I'll tell you why I need this. So we are creating one security group. So here's my rules that I'm adding. I'm creating one VPC, and here if you see, this is my CIDR block. Then I'm creating one public subnet. I'm creating one private subnet. I'm creating one internet gateway. I'm attaching that internet gateway to my VPC. I'm creating one public route table, one private route table, and here I'm adding a rule. So accept any traffic coming from my internet gateway, and then I'm telling that send it to my subnet, which is my public subnet. So this is basically everything that we did on the console. We are doing it using code, and then I'm launching one EC2 instance. Now for this, this EC2 instance, we're launching it in the public subnet that we have created above. So we are basically launching this in the custom VPC that we have created. And also I'm executing a user data. So what is your user data? User data is your boot up script. So here, using this user data, I'm executing a boot up script basically. So to execute this boot up script, my EC2 instance needs to have the necessary permission. For that, I am attaching this IAM role. All right. So does this make sense? The flow. Any questions with this?
No, understood.
So before I run this code, I have to make sure that the prerequisites. There are a couple of prerequisites over here. I'll tell you that. Wait a second. Yeah. So there are a couple of requisites. One is this IAM role should be present, because we're not creating a role over here. We just create an instance profile, which is basically attaching that. So this role with this name should be available. So let me quickly go to my IAM service and let me check that. So I'll go to my IAM, and this is the role name I'm using. So I have to make sure that I have a role with that particular name. So there's my roles, and here if you see, this is the role we have, a role for EC2, and I've given this the S3 access. So that's the same name that I'm using over here. Then the last thing, the other thing we would need is this user data. So if you look at this user data, uh, what I'm doing is I'm basically copying some files from my S3 bucket. So you can see AWS S3 CP, which is copied. So from this S3 bucket or any S3 bucket, you can decide on that, but you just have to make sure that the prerequisites are available in this case. All right. So let's go to the S3 service, and you can use any of these buckets if you want. So let's say we will use this just for the sake of example. So let me provide that over here. And in this bucket, we are going to have a script test.sh. Now, if you want to know what we have in that script, so it's a simple, I don't know if I have it here. Okay, so here It's a very simple script. We are updating the machine, we are installing Apache server, and we are adding this content to our index.html file, and we are starting our Apache service. That's all. So we are basically setting up a simple web page. So we will be uploading this. So in my script, if you see, we're copying that to my server. We are giving the execute permission, and then I'm executing that script. This is what I'm doing. So in the S3 bucket, let me quickly upload that script. So this would be test.sh, and done. So here my script is uploaded. Now let's try executing this the template. So let's go to my CloudFormation, and we'll create a new stack. So this is, I'm going to upload it from my local machine. So we have VPC. Next, we are giving it a name. So VPC demo and your parameters. So here, if you look at the code, I have three parameters. So I have the key name, instance type, and image AMI. So I can choose. So AMI, obviously I'll have to change because, like I said, that's an old AMI. So you have to make sure that you're using the right AMI. So I'm just going to copy it from here. So we'll go with this. So I'll copy that AMI. My instance type will be t2.micro, and the key pair. Okay, this is a different region. Sorry. My key pairs are created in the North Virginia, and I'm looking at Oregon. So my keys are not available there. So make sure you're in the right region. So whenever you're not able to see the resources that you're looking for, validate whether you're in the right region or not. All right. So let's give a name. So this would be demo. Let's see if I'm okay. So you can see again, this is Oregon, and now here I'm giving the region as North Virginia. So what will happen is this will look for the AMI in the North Virginia region, and it will not be able to find it. So I'll have to change this again. So this is where your region isolation comes in. So at any point, if you're um, getting an error as to not found or unable to find, make sure you're in the right region, you're using the right region. So in my case, this will be the AMI. So I'll do that, and then we'll select the key pair, and then next. Okay, so underscores are not allowed. Next. Next, we will acknowledge this and then click on submit, and this will start creating the resources for us. So in our case, first it will create a new VPC for us. So whatever we have given in the code, everything will get created for us. So if I go to the VPCs, so you can see this one, CFN VPC. Now this CFN is nothing but your CloudFormation. So you can see this is coming from your CloudFormation. All right, so there's my VPC, and for this VPC we have created two subnets. So here you can see the public subnet, which is attached to my CloudFormation VPC, and for this we have created two route tables. And you can see public route table and private route table. We have created one internet gateway. So okay, so this is not yet attached. So this one, if you're not sure, you can always look at the tags. Okay, the tags will tell you from where this was created. Okay, looks like there was an error. Okay. So now here, if you see, it is throwing me an error. So it is telling me that this route table belongs to a different network. And by default, whenever there is an error, it will do a rollback. So whatever the resources that has been created will be deleted for us. Now, this could be a timing issue. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rerun this. I'm going to create this stack once again because I keep getting this error, and I think it's more of a timing issue. right? So it's nothing related to the code. So let me do this once again. So again, the resources will start creating. So whatever the resources we had created earlier will be deleted. So you can say I have only two now. So by default, your CloudFormation has a rollback feature. So whenever there is an issue or any error, whatever the resources that has been created will be deleted. So it will do a rollback. All right. If you don't want that to happen, obviously you can change it. You can go and update that settings, but that's the default feature. So now we're just looking this to see if it will go through. So you can say this one create complete, create complete. That means all these resources are created. And you can go to these resources and you should be able to see all the resources that has been created for you with your ID as well. So like which instance ID, the VPC ID and all that information. So I can see this is done. So now if I go back to this, I should be able to see a new internet gateway. So this one, and this has been attached to my route table, which is the public route table. So, and where does it so? Ah, that's a little weird. Okay, much better. So the public route table. So here you can see there is my route added, and here is my subnet association. So everything that we have done using manually using the console, everything is now being done using the code. So you can see how easier this is. You just have to write that code once, and then whenever you want it, just execute that code, and that will give you all the resources that you need. All right. So just waiting for this to complete. So what this will do is this will also launch one EC2 instance for us. So if I go back to my instances, waiting for this because the code it is still executing. So now you can see there's an instance creating progress. So an instance should be coming up for me. So here you can see there is my instance. And again, you can look at the tags and you can see this is coming from CloudFormation, right? So this is pretty much what your CloudFormation services. So you can make use of your code. So at any point, if you want to set up your infrastructure using code, you can make use of your CloudFormation for that. Questions until here?
Oh, so do we get this kind of templates like, in somewhere like, for example, if Netflix is running some services, like, can we copy paste their, like, their template and then create our own this thing? Like, it
Yeah.
is very,
Yeah. So like I said, you will get example templates on the internet. There are lots of examples available. So let's say CloudFormation VPC example. So here you can see we have lots of examples available over here. You can see which one suits you, and then you will have to change it accordingly based on your requirement. You will have to go and modify it. So here if you see, this is an example. So you can see here they are creating a VPC. There's my public subnet. There's my public subnet 1, private subnet 0, private subnet 1, internet gateway, gateway to internet, public route table, adding the route, the subnet association. So you will find examples. Now
yeah.
you will have to basically filter it based on what you want to do, right?
Okay.
As to what is your requirement. Accordingly, you will have to change it. You can take whatever you want, but again, like I said in the last session as well, if you don't know this, that's totally fine. As long
Okay.
as you can understand, it should be fine. So again, like I said, to work with this, creating the resources manually is important. So you should know how to create a VPC manually. Only then you can convert that to a code, so that when you're writing this code, you will know what all components you need, right? So you have the example code available over here, but if you don't understand this, it's difficult. So, when I say I need to create a VPC, so I know I need a VPC, I need a public subnet, I need a private subnet, I need an internet gateway, I need a route table, I need a security group. So if you, at least if you have that knowledge, it becomes easier for you to work with your cloud formation.
Okay.
So here you can see this is all the templates for your EC2. So this is EC2. So you can use EC2 instance with security group, EC2 instance with ephemeral storage, elastic IP association, single ENI with multiple EIP. So there are examples available over here. Let me, uh, yeah. So here you can see all these are your examples for different services. So let me
Okay.
ping this. You can keep this handy. You should be able to find lots of examples over here. I can also ping you my repo. So here also there are, and not much, but whatever the examples that I have used, the example codes are available over there. All right. But yeah, so you can see this is create complete. So the instance that we have launched, so this is running. So now if I try hitting this, so let me take this public IP, and if I try hitting this, I should be okay. So remember the user data that we have executed. We can validate that whether that is executed or not. So let's go to this. And let me go to where okay, so this is not executed. So the script that we were trying to execute, this is not executed. Now, at any point, if you're executing any user data, we can look at the logs to understand what has happened with that. So what we can do is, so by default, we have a location, which is you can go to this var log location. So here, if you go to this var log, here you should be able to see this one, cloud init output dot log. This is where your user data script output gets stored, right? So in my case here, if you see, so starting from here, this one, so I'm getting a 403 when calling the head object. So basically, I think what has happened here is the S3 did not work for me. So this command, let me try this one. It has worked. So, hmm, okay. So what happened? Cannot access. Okay, which is fine. An error occurred 403 when calling the head object. Mm, it seems to be a little weird. Um, Maybe it is complaining about the sudo permissions. I'm not sure. Let me try this. This is also working. So what's the issue? Hmm. Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to dig deep, but there was some issue. So here, if you, this giving you this. Where is the log? Yeah. So this particular line. So obviously something happened. All right. And because of that, the next steps did not execute. So you can see it is trying to execute this and it is telling no such file found, and it did not do anything. So ideally, I think there was some problem with the S3 command. Again, could be a timing issue. I'm not 100% sure. But let me do it manually. So we run this command, then we go to that location where my script is available. So here's the script, and now we just run that script. Hold on, wait 1 minute. And this should work for me. And done. So now, ideally, if we go and refresh this, uh, index or HTML, my code, what's happening? It looks like this is malformed. So if you see here, it is www dot something, which is not right. But here you can see this is what we were expecting. So now you can also use this to automate your application deployment. So whenever using CloudFormation, if you're setting up some infrastructure, you can also automate the deployment of the application, whatever the application you have, you can do that also. But yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what your CloudFormation is. Questions until here?
No, no, Ravi.
No, sir.
All right. And again, your CloudFormation manages this infrastructure for you, right? So if you want to like destroy everything that you've created, what you have to do is just go and delete this, and whatever the resources that are created as part of this, everything will be destroyed. So the VPC, the EC2 instance, everything that you have created will be deleted. So your CloudFormation manages the complete infrastructure for you. So yeah, I mean, see, that's basically what your CloudFormation service is. Now, the next thing we are going to look at in your CloudFormation is we have this concept called change sets. Now, you also have the option of updating your infrastructure. Now, let's say, for example, you will create a new instance. Let's say, for example. So let's look at this one itself. So what this will do is this will create one security group and launch one EC2 instance for us, right? So let's recreate this. So let me go back to my CloudFormation and I'll create a new stack. I will upload the template over here. So this will be my EC2. So let's take that. So this will be EC2 no change. We'll give the AMI over there. So let's go with this AMI. My key pair, and then where you want to launch this. So let's go this and next, we will submit. So what this will do, this will launch one EC2 instance for us. Now, let's say after some time you want to update this. Now, when I say update this, maybe let's say you want to attach a new security group to this instance itself, or maybe attach a new volume to this. Now, that's where your change set comes in. All right. So, if you need to make changes to the running resources, so whatever you have in your stack, if you want to change, make some changes, or you want to update that stack, you have this change sets option available. So before making changes to your resources, you can generate a chain set, which is a summary of your proposed changes. Chain sets allow you to see how your changes might impact your running resources, especially for critical resources before implementing them. So two advantages of this. One is obviously you can update your existing resources. The second advantage is you can also preview those changes before you make those changes. You can preview those changes, and only if you're satisfied with the changes, you can go ahead and apply those changes. So here I have now launched a new instance. So here there's my new instance, and if you look at the security, I have one security group. Now let's say I want to update this. So I want to attach one more security group to this. So that's where your change sets can be used, or stack sets can be used. So you can create a stack set, and again, your template, you'll need to fill in these details. So we're going to upload this. And in our case, let me see if I have change. This one show me the code. Okay, let me grab where is that? Let me go here. We'll go to the chain set, and here, if you look, this is a chain set. So what we are doing here is we have one more security group. Okay, so security group 2, and this is the other security group. So basically, we're attaching one more security group. So let me take this code and let me put this here. Just want to check one thing, which is, so it's a security group. We'll use the same name. So let's use the same name. So this will be, yeah. So here, if you see, we are referring that security group 2, which is this one. So now let me go and create this once again. So now we'll upload that template over here. So change set demo. Next, give a name. So let's say update security group. You get to review this. So your key pair, your subnet, and your AMI, obviously. So in my case, the AMI would be this one. Next, and click on next. Next, so this will be in my, okay, hold on. Set add stacks to stack sets. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so it's new. Okay, so account number would be this, and my region would be Virginia. Next, and submit. Now when you submit this, what will happen is this will generate a preview for us. Okay, so this will not make any changes yet. That looks like it has failed. Why it has failed? Okay. Okay, so this is not having the necessary role. So let me edit this. Come on. There's a role. Okay. So that's complaining me about a role. So I'll have to create a new role or see if it has a new role. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna create a new role. This will be for my CloudFormation. Okay, CloudFormation, and we'll give full access to this. And role name. So it is complaining about the permission. So I'm just created a new IAM role for this. Let's go back and let's try this. Okay, so let's see now. Oh, come on. Why does it show failed? Okay, I'll have to look at this. I'm not sure what is happening. Given it the necessary permission, but or let me try this one. Let me create a new one. This is the one we created. A role. Where's my role? Okay, let's see. AWS CloudFormation. Okay, so there's a role. There's a role. Okay, so that's what we're using here. Let's see. Next. Next. My account ID. Pick this one. The region. Virginia. Next. Submit. Let's see what this will do. Ah. Yeah. Administrator role. Account should have role with trust relationship to this role. Okay, let's see this. Trust relationship. Okay, I'll have to review this, guys. So obviously, there's a permission issue. Um, I'll have to see. I mean, it is complaining about some trust relationship. But ideally, the expectation was if everything went fine, it would basically go and update. So whatever the stack that we have created over here, this will go and update it, which in this case will create one more security group and attach that security group to that existing infrastructure. Does that make sense? Guys, yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But I mean, yeah, pretty much that is what your cloud formation is. All right. So cloud formation is basically your infrastructure as code. So at any point, if you want to set up your infrastructure using code, we can make use of your cloud formation for that. All right. The next service that I'm going to talk about is your CloudTrail. Now, what is CloudTrail? CloudTrail is one of your auditing service. Now, let's say, I have my AWS account, right? So I have one AWS account, and all of us, like the four of us, we are sharing this AWS account. Now, I want to know. So let's say I'm the owner of that account. Now, I want to know what is happening with my account. So let's say, for example, at some point, I had launched one instance. Yeah, sorry. So let's say at some point I had launched an EC2 instance, and now when I look at that, I'm not able to find that EC2 instance. That instance has been terminated. I want to know what happened with that instance. What was the event or what was the activity with that EC2 instance? Who terminated it? What time it was terminated? I want to see all those details. That's where I can make use of your cloud trial. So cloud trial is the auditing service in your AWS account. You can use this to see all the events, all the activities that has happened in your AWS account. So CloudTrail is an AWS service that helps you to enable governance, compliance, and operational and risk auditing of your AWS account. So basically, any actions taken by a IAM user, IAM role, or any AWS service, everything is recorded as an event and stored in your CloudTrail service. So you can easily view events in the CloudTrail console by going to event history. So if you go to the service, so let me open up the Trial. There's your CloudTrail, and this is basically your user activity. Okay, so the activity that has happened in your AWS account. Now by default, if you go to this dashboard, it will show you the last 5 events by default. All right, so the event name, so you can see create stack set, create stack instances, delete stack, terminate instances, delete security group, date and time, and then your source. So if you want more details on this, you can click on one of that event history and you should be able to see more details. So what time, which user did this, the access key of that user, from which IP address this happened, what was the event name, in which region this was done, all this information will be available for us. And here is your JSON view, right? So here you can see it clearly tells you that this event, this activity was done by the root user, which is me, right? So the default user. Likewise, if this was done by an IAM user, it would clearly tell you that this is coming from an IAM user. So this one by default will show you the last 5 events. But if you want more details, you can go to this event history, which will show you the last 90 days activity. All right. So your event history allows you to view, search, and download the past 90 days of activity in your AWS account. So this stores the 90 days activity that has happened in your AWS account. So you can see all of this is coming from the root user. But one, if you see this one, it is not showing anything. So what happened over here? So it says shared snapshot volume. So I want to know what happened to this, right? So you can see the account ID, the event time, and the event category management. There's a snapshot. Okay, so you can look at this snapshot ID and get the information about this. So let's say if I go to instances, I'll go to snapshots, and I don't have anything, right? So let's see, public snapshots. Okay, so there's some public snapshots that are available. And try filtering this. It is still filtering, but pretty much like that. So invoked by EC2 Amazon AWS.com. So source, even name, region, source IP. So this is an activity that was done by AWS itself. All right. So like this, any event that you want to see in your AWS account, you can make use of this cloud trial service for this. So especially if you're sharing your account with multiple people, then this is a very useful. So here you can see, for example, this is coming from a different AWS, or rather, let's look at this. This looks interesting. So create network interface, and okay, so there's an assume role. All right. So let's see. This is coming from, when was this? This was on July 12th. July 12th. Interesting. Username. Elastic file system. So what happened is, can you confirm if any of your account is ending with 9884?
Let me.
No, hold on. I think this is because of the EFS example that we were seeing in the last session, and we did a mount. Okay, so we had run some commands. It is because of that, I think. Never mind, you can ignore it. Like this, basically getting that history of what has happened in your accounts, when it had happened, and all those details you can get by making use of this cloud trial service. Okay, so you can create two types of cloud trial. You can create a trial that applies to all. Now this one by default stores your information for the last 90 days. Now if you want to maintain, like, let's say one last 1 year history, you can create your own trial. Now, when you're creating this trial, you can create this for all the regions, or you can create this for only one region. So you can give a name to this, and you can choose where you want to store this. You want to store this in an S3 bucket. In which S3 bucket do you want to encrypt it? And then do you want to send out a notification? You want to send this in CloudWatch. Next, you can choose what all data you want. So by default, it will capture management events, but do you also want to capture your data events or your insight events? You can specify that. Next, you get to review. And when you create this, what will happen is, anyways, it will show you the 90 days history over here, but it will also store a copy in your S3 bucket. Now, the advantage of that is, even if it gets deleted from here in the S3 bucket, it would still be available, and it will be available as long as you want it. So this can be useful from your compliance perspective or from your auditing perspective. So a trial is a construct that enables delivery of cloud trial events to an S3 bucket, CloudWatch logs, and CloudWatch events. You can use a trial to filter the cloud trial events you want delivered, encrypt your cloud trial event log files with a KMS key, and set up SNS notification for the log file delivery. So that's pretty much what your CloudTrail service. So once again, it's a auditing service. You can use this to understand what has happened in your AWS account, what time it happened, who did it. All that information will be available. Questions?
No, sir.
So if one instance is deleted by mistake, so using CloudTrail we won't be able to restore it, is it that a feature is not available, right?
No, no. So this is just a, like a event history. That's it.
Event history. Okay, got it.
It does not do anything for you. It will just like any activity you will do, it will keep a log of it. That's it.
Okay, got it.
And nothing else.
I cannot restore there is no service where we can restore any by mistake if we have deleted something from S3 or whatever the instance we have deleted by mistake, so we cannot restore. Is there any service in AWS?
Yeah. So see, if you see 99% of the time when you delete something, it's gone. All
Okay,
right.
okay. Let's
But
ask
let's
for
say,
the
let's say we're talking about your EC2 instance. If it's deleted, it's deleted. You cannot get
oh,
it back. You'll have to create a new one and kind of redeploy your application, restore the data. That is how you can get it back. But if you delete something, it's gone. You cannot get it back.
okay.
Okay. Now, however, there are ways that you can automate it. Meaning, let's say an instance is terminated, you can automate the launch of a new instance,
Yeah. Okay.
but you cannot get it back. You whatever is deleted, it's deleted.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. That's all I have for your cloud trial. Uh, that's 15. The next sections, so we would ideally start off with your databases. So we will be looking at four databases. So we will look at your RDS service, your relational database service. We will look at your DynamoDB, which is your NoSQL database. We will talk about your Elastic Cache, and we will also talk about your there's another database called so I have 16, there's my 17. Do you see 18 anywhere? 33. Okay, I don't see 18. There should be one more database called Redshift. We'll talk about that as well. And we'll also be talking about your cache database. All right. So these are the four databases we will talk. We'll also touch base on your Amazon Aurora, which is also a type of database. But the next few sessions, we are going to talk a lot about your databases. And post that, we have few small services that we are going to cover. So today is 16th, right? Hmm. Let's see. I might need next week and then maybe 16, right? I might need 5 plus maybe 2 3 days extra, and we should be able to finish off your AWS sessions. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's all for today. Tomorrow we will be starting off with your databases. Um, I'll confirm for the class tomorrow because there's something that I need to take care of. I'll have to see if I'll be available at 10 o'clock. I'll confirm that today. If you're not able to do tomorrow, and we will be having a session on the Tuesday. Okay.
Sure, Abhi. No issues.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you. I'll confirm the timings for tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you,
a lot.
sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye, everyone.